All right, so our next question is going to be a bit more leaning towards the business side of things. Basically, I was kind of interested in knowing what you thought about it was going to be like running an airsoft field when you were first a player versus actually having been in it now for a while, and what you think about it.
So I didn't think it was going to be as involved as it is.
That's really good.
Right?
Sorry.
Looking at it from the outside, I think there's this common idea of, things just happen. But there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of prep that actually goes into effectively running a field. I mean, anybody can run airsoft in their backyard.
Yep.
But to effectively provide an experience to a player base and to have them keep coming back requires a lot of effort. It's a lot of stress too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like looking at the business side of it. It's not like we're ignoring what people are saying. It's not like we're just, we're going to force this on somebody else. We're actually seeing what all is possible. What can we incorporate that the community wants to see?
Can I have that sauce again?
Good Lord.
It's really good.
It is good.
So, there's, with that aspect of it, why are you throwing this to me? Golly, you're never getting on the team.
You can keep that over there. I'm good for now.
The business side of it is way more involved than I
Trying to
originally thought.
anticipate what people are
Trying
going to
to
do.
anticipate what they're going to do. Trying to come up with what's a good idea of what people would enjoy, because you guys are very difficult to figure out what you want to do. One day you'll be like, well, I want to do this or that, and then you'll complain about the same thing that we decided to go do. So it's like, and I get it. I was there too. But it's the aspect of trying to figure out of what is going to keep people coming back. Why do they want to do this specific thing? Because it all comes down to, trying to figure out and trying to get good metrics on what works. And it's very difficult, I think, in airsoft right now, at least for us locally, to figure out what do people want to see and why do they want to see it this way.
Yeah, because we got a wide variety of people. Ages, milsim to casuals to you name it. And you're trying to do stuff throughout the day, like for an open play. That's going to cater to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes we do things like, let's say our zombie event where, you got to run around with the pool noodles and stuff. Some people love that. Some people hate it. But we're trying to get a mix in there. So at least everybody has a good section of the time that they're going to be out there that they're going to absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't do like a whole one day of just like milsim, another whole day of LARPing or whatever, because then like people just won't come for that day, so you're gonna end up with less people. So it's like you gotta kind of share that time.
Right. Yeah, I think like what I used to know, well, even when I was on the team the first time, wasn't as involved in the business side of it as I am now. And so like that transition was very different because you didn't realize the effort that went into advertising, to making media, to preparing and doing all these things, coming up with game modes. I know like a lot of our recent stuff, it's been, us executives working on the game modes and trying to get those prepped to then push out to like all of our other guys. Okay, what do you think about this? And then pushing it out to the community of, okay, what do you think about this?
Yeah, and then getting our refs trained on it so we gotta make it easy enough for them to be able to quickly know the rules.
Because even though we've maybe been working on this one thing for a couple months to a year, not everybody is privy or not everybody knows about how to go about it. So it's relaying what's up in here to somebody so that they can effectively do that job.
You got a lot up there.
I do. Like I
lot
said,
of nothing.
Me and him talk for 2
lot of
hours.
nothing.
Oh, yeah.
A whole lot of nothing that he has 2 water bottles open right now.
Well, this one's cold.
Why'd you throw this to me? And then proceeds to open it.
Well, that one's cold.
Well, we might as well get an advertisement for Ice Mountain in here. Jeez.
Ice Mountain. Get yours today.
So So, like, coming in as a player, you definitely thought it was going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't really have an expectation of what the difference is. So when I first came on, I was more of looking at the team side of it. So it's like just a group of guys, you get together, you hang out, you go to these other events, you play as a team, and you work together doing this and that. So then when it transitioned over to I'm a part of the more business side of it, of all right, we're running a field, it kind of just was like accepting of that. But at that time, I'm just a ref. So I'm just out there just, making sure people are having a fun time. And then you start to get involved in it, I think, because you see the excitement from the other players when they have a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
When you're able to do these different things that everybody else isn't doing. Or maybe you're only getting that experience from a $200 and $300 event. So if we can bring that similar experience at a lower price point, well, I want to be a part of that. That's exciting to do because then you get recognition for the team of this is what happened. And then, 10 years down the road, when you look at airsoft again, you're like, well, I was a part of that. And that aspect of it, I think, is pretty cool.
What do you think?
Yes.
Because, like, the media side's no joke.
That's a new territory the last couple of years. Well, yeah, since I was a kid, like it all started just with YouTube. Like a few people would start posting videos, and that's like
because I've only been a part of a small portion of the media.
Yeah, you do some graphics here and there. They're great. You do a lot of like event posters and graphics, and like I guess you two like wrote up all the signage that we have at the field for like jewel limits and different rules for like, I don't know, just different rules. You have like the signs that we have by the big map. Like almost like six signs or whatever we have there, like stuff like that.
Info signs.
It's probably the most effective.
With all the misspellings.
Like not advertisement, but effective thing that we've created has been our replica rules for Chrono.
Oh yeah, I use that all the time.
Because that gets used by our guys, that gets used by customers when they come into the shop and want to look at, all right, what can they run?
When we go out there only every 2 weeks, it's easy to forget some of the details, because there's a lot of details that we remember, game modes, and remember the stuff that's in the shop, and a lot of tactile stuff. So it's getting to the point where it's not easy for just one person to remember everything. So we need these signs even for our people.
It's like you made the game mode cards that we're about to revamp and revisit. So just stuff like that it's not necessarily media, but it's media for us that is super helpful that you just don't think about until you're like, oh, well, have a question. You're like, just to literally hand them the piece of paper, the label, like laminated piece of paper, and they're like, oh, well, that's super easy. You can just show the customer as well. So, but yeah, media, doing podcasts, doing constant social media posts about Explosive Sunset coming up with Milo, taking pictures and other video content for that while we're at the field, doing tax off small overview debriefs that we're looking at doing here soon. Just slowly getting into that where we can hopefully start making money on that, which will in turn start paying for other stuff at the field, or better equipment for this, or just space, like that type of stuff. Will just it gets people also interested with online presence. And if you can get that, then it gives them a place for feedback, which is really helpful with Discord, which is immensely helpful. But if they're talking in Discord or having actual discourse, not causing problems,
which we also have our buy sell trade website.
Yes,
because you can't sell stuff on Discord and stuff anymore.
So go to our discourse on our website, d2tac.com. Anyway, so just that type of stuff. It was just it all started from Silo and Novrish back in the day, just throwing some videos up on YouTube and it sticking to a wall. And now this is where we're at. So
yeah,
just
our media presence doing decent too. Yeah. It's especially our Instagram is helping out a lot.
Yeah, slow and steady.
Yeah, so it is very slow and steady.
Well, that's the thing, reaching out to the community and that aspect of it, because we're a business, so we got to have a media presence. We got to have our name out there because we don't we want to bring in people from not just Ohio, but from everywhere.
Yeah.
Which
So-
we've slowly started doing. We got some people from Kentucky.
Yeah, so like if people can't see you, people don't know you're here. That is kind of like I don't know, a secret of airsoft. Because like when I first got into it, trying to find anything was super difficult.
It seemed like there was like a golden era for a while there, because like you had the Airsoft Ohio forums,
Right.
back when people used forums, which was a good and bad thing, because now we got instant messaging and stuff. But there was also that AC3 site or whatever, which
Right.
had a lot of airsoft fields on there.
Which that thing's not been updated in a long time.
Yeah, well, it seems like there are people out there that try to create these tools for everybody to use, and then like not a lot of people use them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I kind of feel like because it stems back to like everybody wants to have their own thing, and they don't want other people to be able to use that thing. Because like take Ohio for instance, like it did seem like there was a bit of a problem with like older fields, you know, not wanting to have any association or mention of any other field because they were worried about them losing their player base.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, if you're going to play at our field, you're going to play at our field. If not,
Well,
you're,
and that
as long as everybody's having fun and whatever, it's going to happen.
It just helps the community. Like this past year, we Parker's had some problems with their fields, and we had them up at our field to
Yeah.
run an event. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, we want the community of airsoft itself to grow.
Yeah.
And if we're a part of that, so be it. Like, that's amazing. That's great. And if not, we'll just be a team and hang out and be friends. Like, it's just
And I don't see it as like a downfall to like
No.
our field or whatever we're trying to do.
you
It's
build each other up. You bring each other along. Like,
yeah,
Well, because like when you think about it, all right, one place gets big enough in their promotion of stuff. If you're friendly with other people, you can promote their stuff and reach a bigger audience, and so you're kind of bringing the whole community together as opposed to separating them.
yeah. And seeing like if we did get big enough to where I don't know, maybe we could be like a national thing or something, I would have zero issues with like promoting other fields events like Parker's with their Vietnam stuff, or Pike County. I forget the name of the one Milsim event that they ran, but you know, doing that, or Sector 7 with their pressure cooker, I believe it is, and stuff like that. Because like, if we're all working together, we're gonna make the airsoft community itself, at least especially in Ohio, bigger and better for everyone. And like I try to tell everybody I run into, airsofters are only willing to drive usually so far from their house to get to a field. Unless your closest field sucks, then they're willing to travel further if the event is worth it to them.
well, and
Right.
that's the thing I hear constantly when I'm running shop stuff. It's like, oh yeah, we came from Virginia. Like, why? Like some people will drive over an hour to come to G2. And
Yeah.
they're just like, huh, that kind of puts something in your head. They're like, oh, I guess we're doing something right.
Yeah, and then it
Like-
makes you want to really perform well because they gave us their time
Yeah.
and their money, and like it is our duty to make sure that they have the best time there.
We haven't been perfect, and we'll never always be perfect.
Yeah.
But we're gonna strive to be
Correct.
the best that we can be.
And to me, that's a very big honor. If someone comes from even over an hour away, you're like, wow, you chose us and you drove an hour to be here. Like to me, that's phenomenal. It blows my mind.
Yeah. And some of the teams even over an hour away. So it's
Yeah, some of our teammates, like Milo, for instance.
Milo, Alex, a few other
Yeah.
guys.
Well, yeah, I drive an hour to get to the field.
You don't
every day.
count. You're
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
you're not allowed to complain anymore.
Let's make it a third time that I join the team.
He's gonna leave and never come back.
Yeah.
And you'll meet Jesus.
Anything else that you want to share with the business side of things that you thought was crazy or memorable or?
Darren and Angie put money into this thing. Like,
That is a crazy aspect of it, but it's not like when I think of like some of the business stuff that we've done. Just running an airsoft field is kind of crazy for a random team to just decide we're going to do. Because it wasn't like just necessarily one person's decision. Obviously, you have the full say on it, but we had to all be on a similar mindset of this is what we want to do. We want to do this for the community. because that's what it's always been about. It's for the community. It's never been about the money. It's never been about
As long as it's
what we can get for ourselves. It's always been about the
If it was
community.
for what I wanted, I would have been gone a long time ago.
But I mean, so that's like where our mindset was at. So that's kind of crazy to think about these random friends who didn't know each other before airsoft getting together and saying, all right, let's run an airsoft field.
Yeah.
And then, you know, all the troubles that come with that from, you know, marketing the individuals in the team. And what I mean by that is, well, we have to have a specific appearance. We have to act a specific way. We have to treat the community, not just at our own field, a specific way, but at other places.
Yeah, just with respect.
So, you know, it's that aspect of not everybody thinks about what goes into that. Because if you're just a random airsofter, well, I'm going to go to this field, I'm going to act however I want because, you know, it is what it is. But as a, you know, team member, we're representing our field, we're representing our team. You know, there's a lot of weight that comes with that and responsibility of, you know, not driving potential customers away, but and as well as bringing the community together. So.
Yeah.
I think that aspect of it's kind of fun, kind of interesting, but it does add a lot of weight, I think, on, you know, thinking about your responsibility to the business and to the airsoft community as a whole.
And to touch a little base on, you're talking about with like a bunch of strangers that's coming together to become friends. I think that's one of the most rewarding aspects, at least for me, of just doing airsoft in general is like not just with our teammates. Like, you know, we didn't know Clayton, we didn't know Trevor, I didn't know Aaron before I started all this stuff.
Clayton
Right.
But
too.
yeah, Clayton number 2.
I forgot there is 2.
Yeah. Like a lot of these people on the team, like I would have never met them if it wasn't for the field. And I think it's the same way for a lot of people that come out and play airsoft. They wouldn't have known any of those people, and they formed groups and friendships and whatever else from that. You
Yeah,
know.
I would never met you if it weren't for Lambert. I met Lambert at I-70,
Yeah.
and then I went to that event with you guys.
Yeah.
See?
Pine at the field.
Good things do come from I-70.
Yeah. I mean, it was like the
It
only
was a
spot
chapter in my
around.
life.
It was the only spot around that was close by, and it was something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, that's what G2's turned into a second family. So it's just, yeah, that's what it is. Like, and I don't see you guys as teammates really much. It's more of brothers.
You know, and I think in some small aspect, we've been able to be a part of other people having that similar experience with meeting friends and creating their own individual teams and communities.
You know, not knowing airsoft from like the reffing aspect, now that I do know that side of things, looking back at I-70, refs didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Well, I mean, most of the times I went there wasn't even a ref.
The hole probably
No,
had a
it was-
groundhog
it
in
It
it,
was
too.
always the players.
Yeah, and people would get hurt. We had some people heat cash. Nobody was doing anything about it. God forbid Tim did anything. Guy's an idiot.
Maybe do I just sit back in that one room where we were watching his
Yeah.
QAnon stuff or whatever?
You go into the shop, there's like 16-year-olds that didn't know what the hell they were doing running the shop. Like,
Yeah, I think it was his kids
Yeah.
running everything. But all right, ready for the next one?
I am.
I think that was a good discussion. So hopefully people got a good insight onto all that stuff.
Doubtful.